Speaking of drowning niggas, I want to.
Why was that illegal?
I don't know, but I just had to. I had to segue. Everybody hates Kevin McCall. He looks like he's on crack, but. I want to talk about what he said though, but no, he said something that was kind of valid. I want y'all to hear what he said.
I don't want to hear nothing.
No, seriously. Just because you don't like a person,
daughter off of IG to prove a point.
Listen, just because you don't like a person, don't mean that they can't say something with some valid.
Oh, you're right. You're definitely right.
But I still hate him.
Everybody thinks that. Everybody has their thoughts about him. But
y'all probably don't even know who
Kevin McCall is a singer.
He knows who he is.
He sung on. He is a singer. He sung with Chris Brown. He had a beef with Chris Brown. He was
on Deuces.
Yeah, he was on Deuces. He had a baby with Eva Marcel.
Yeah, he was slipping, sis.
Yes, she was definitely
beautiful.
But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. What the fuck was that about?
Kevin McCall minus the crack is beautiful too.
See, that's the thing. The fact that you have to, the fact that you have to put minus the crack on there lets me know, sis, she was slipping.
She was slipping. But listen to what he has to say real quick.
Look at him.
Real quick, and peep the hurt. But go ahead.
The black community right now is a dating issue and a parenting issue. Specifically with black women, because my mother was a black woman. Women, I gotta stop putting this white man in this job before your family, before yourself, before your destiny, and before your children. And then you wonder why niggas can't really, rock with you like that, because you trying to do our job. See, I'm a nigga, I don't really need nothing. I'd be a bum if it really was up to me. I don't believe in money and shit, so the only reason I got racks is for my wife. But if you're busy working, trying to do what I did, I'm the one who wrote this so we can have a mansion one day. You feel me? But if you're busy working, I can't never get to know you. And I'm trying to cover up this little pimple I got. You know what I'm saying? My mom was so busy trying to show me love, working, that she never was on. I hope my fiance don't make that same mistake.
Before we start, I want to say two things.
She was so...
Two things. Hold on, wait. I'm not saying this relates to Eva Marcel.
Yes.
Take her out. Okay, because this nigga clearly had an agenda. But hold on. Clearly he had an agenda with what he was saying. And the whole covering up the pimple or whatever. I'm not saying he has herpes. I'm just joking. Like, it was a pimple, but it's on his lip though.
Anytime you have a bump on your right here, it's... a cousin or
that's
a
not
relative.
True because I get pimple. I get the same. If I get a pimple here, I'll get the same pimple.
Lip situation.
I'm talking about a cold sore right here.
Okay,
that's a baby hurt.
Okay, I don't know. He just said cold sore. I had pimples near this area, just like I have around this area and this area.
Cold sore,
but it's never a sore like an open sore.
That don't look like no damn.
I couldn't see it, but it did look like lump. That
didn't look like no damn pimple, bro.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, take that aside from the distraction.
I'm about to tear his ass apart.
Well, can I say something first? Okay, I lived in a single parent household. Who worked a lot, who believed in providing, who believed that working was the best thing you could do for your child because the money. We got to pay for this, we got to pay for that. Which in turn made me raised by my grandparents. So to them, they're more of my parents than the actual single mother situation because that's who I spent the most time with. That's who we went out the most with. That bonding time. But hold on, I got you, Yatta. I got you.
I'm just lining up.
So I agree in the sense that if you think that working day and night, every overtime you get, every chance that you can get to work more is providing for your children, I do think that they lack that relationship. They lack that bond. They lack that time spent. And somebody else will get the credit for raising that child because you're too busy buying Christmas, buying, a big house when you maybe can have a smaller house to have more time with your children or whatever the case may be. Or working smart, trying to work smarter instead of harder. I do think that affects the man as well as the woman. I mean, as well as the children. Yatta?
Okay, first things first. The first thing I want to pinpoint is the fact that you said it was a single mother that raised you. So let's go ahead and point these fingers. Black men, why you telling black women that they work too hard to take care of these families? But if y'all would stop, you know what?
Kevin McCall.
Kevin McCrackhead. Why you telling black women they work too hard and they love work more than they love their families? Well, if y'all men would be the breadwinners and take care of the household so these women could be home, then we wouldn't have to do that. Real life though, we grind because if we don't do it, it don't get done. We don't have the luxury of saying, oh, well, you know what, I ain't got it. If we ain't got it, guess what? We gotta go get it. Because the last thing I'm gonna do is become dependent on someone who can take it or leave it at any juncture. A man can get up, walk away, skate. He don't gotta do nothing. You can hunt this man down through the courts. He get paid under the table for the rest of his life and never give you a dime to help you support those kids or make sure that you good. So we have to get it. So yeah, if you have a man and her, you know what I'm saying, you got your man and your mother raised you to be independent because you can't count on nobody but yourself. And that's reality. Like anything can happen. You could fall, break both your legs tomorrow and can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? If I'm dependent on what you bring to the table, we not going to eat. So you got to make sure that it goes both ways. Yes, I do agree, and I wholeheartedly support the working smarter versus working harder.
Right.
You got to make it work to your advantage. But at the same time, I'm never going to knock nobody for trying to give their child better than what they had.
Yeah.
Because that's how you create that generational wealth. So yeah, I might sacrifice a little bit, and it sucks because I want nothing more than the bond with the kids because that means a lot to me. Some people, they can take it or leave it. That means a lot to me. Fortunately, with the shift, schedule that I work, I'm home early enough to be home before my kids get home from school. I can be there. But I've had times where I couldn't. And it is what it is. Like, you have to do what you have to do to make sure that them kids are taken care of, that they eat, they have a home. Because I want to acquire things that I can pass down to my kids so that when they have hard times, they got somewhere to go. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's rocky. I can't pay rent. Okay, I can stay in this house that mom has that's paid for. You know what I'm saying? And just knock out utilities. I can do things like that. These are things I want to make sure that they okay, that they solidified, that they have something to grow on. So I'm not going to knock that. But I feel like women, we don't love work more than we love our family. We ain't got no choice. Fuck you mean? Yeah. Somebody got to do it.
Sean, what are your thoughts on that?
Pretty much everything y'all just said.
No,
seriously, as a black male, everything that you said is valid. Like, this is something that I really can't say what he said. Who wants to go to work?
Who, well,
a lot of people.
Well, I mean, but for the way maybe he's talking about in his scenario, because like what y'all just said, like basically, like if you was doing if men, me, myself included, if we are doing what we were supposed to be, to me, not trying to say women are inferior, because I think we're equal.
Right. Okay.
We both have our things, but we're supposed to be providers.
Yes.
So if we ain't provide or do it. Well, the woman got to. She got to pick up the slack. And I see it mostly, just being honest, I see women picking up the slack more than I see men doing it. So I'm not disrespecting the guys because there's some guys out there who do it by themselves. Sure. I always like to talk into the majority. So I'm not disrespecting you. I'm not a single father. I get plenty of help. But I really have that. Y'all is right. I mean, like, if you have to work, it's not necessarily so you want a Benz, might be BMW. You might have to work for food, for uniforms, and if you can't work 2 jobs, that stuff does not get paid for.
So I'm speaking more so on the lifestyle that you're working for your children, because at the end of the day, the money is in the generational wealth is just as important as time spent in the relationship. So, and while women, not a lot of people really want to work like that, like day to day, but a lot of women do have their own hustles that they want to have, their goals and dreams, their aspirations of whatever field that they want to be in. However, it doesn't have to be one extreme or the other. There are sacrifices that you have to make with time for that family life balance. I just think that it should be more of a balance. Like, I think that the men can step up, should step up, should be bringing equal or if not more, so that the women can have more time to be the nurturers that we're created to be. But there are a lot of women that I know and see that have to hustle 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for this lifestyle. When your kid's lifestyle could be like this, instead of getting every toy they want for Christmas, maybe they get most of them so that you can have that relationship and have that time spent. I think there should be a balance.
But I also think men should step up. Say if you can't be the full provider, then you need to take on. Then the mom shouldn't have to do all of the stuff with the kids. So if you lack in another area, you know what I'm saying, like having a little meat.
Yeah.
Like,
earlier.
But like, say if she has to work those 2 jobs and you only working 1 job, which I think if she working 2 jobs, you should be working 2 jobs. It depends on how much you make. It depends. Yeah. Then you need to cook or pick up the kids from cheerleading or basketball or take them to pottery or whatever. You need to be like hands-on. Like, I mean, I was trying to think of like, hands-on because it's definitely important, but like, it's so hard. Like, I always say this about parenting. It's a thin line between everything. You're trying, is this the right decision? Is this the wrong decision? Am I working too much? Am I spending, but most of us work 9 to 5. You come home, kids got to be you're not spending that much time with, your kids besides like, on the weekend. They're in school, they're in daycare. It's really like kind of like 3 hours. That's why one thing I always say is I never got the whole weekend dad thing. Yeah. Because that's the majority of time that you're spending with your kids. Like,
but they say that because during the week you're the one who's shuffling the kids, make sure they get on the bus, and they're helping with homework. That's why they say, but nah, you getting them full 48 hours. That's a lot.
Because if I had the option, a weekend or a weekday, I would definitely take the weekday because someone else is basically doing my job for the majority of the day. Yeah. You do homework, eat, go to bed, and we do the same thing over. Them kids wake up at 5 o'clock Saturday, and you gotta do. Can
you make me 2 eggs with syrup? Yeah. I'm so tired of it. But no, that's absolutely true though. I just feel like I agree. There has to be a balance. I do agree with that. A lot of times, people who are like that, women who are like that, they grew up and they came from nothing, and it makes you counter. You know what I'm saying? Counter all of that. I'm one of those people. Now, don't get me wrong, because I still got that FaceTime with my kids. Yeah. I'm just fortunate right now to not have to work 2-3 jobs to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? But I can't knock whoever doing it, because if you didn't get to where you needed to get in life and you gotta, get a couple jobs to do whatever, I ain't never really lived that lifestyle. I hope I never have to. But I feel like my kids, like, I grew up, I came from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't have shit growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like all the hot shit everyone had till I got a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I wasn't out here naked or poor. You know what I'm saying? I always had a roof on my head. I always had clothes, but I didn't have all the fancy nice shit that all the other kids had, Right. So for me, I tend to compensate for that in my kids a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. My sister the same way. She'll spoil my kids rotten because, you know what I'm saying? We know what it was like to not have that shit. So it kind of makes you go in the opposite direction. You grew up in an apartment, you want a big ass house for your kids. Yeah.
I think that's what Sabrae was kind of saying it because, like, you might have to. Exactly. I've seen it where it's hard because I never like to tell anybody to do with their finances, especially single moms. Yeah. Y'all really got the hardest job. Like, I think the burden is on y'all more than it is on fathers, just to keep it a buck. But I have seen it that, like, some women complain about money or this and that. But I'm like, well, you just got a Gucci bag. You maybe didn't have to get those Versace slides or like.
That's why, like, I ain't gonna knock you for wanting, the things that you want in life, live it to the fullest. But however, like, I'm not gonna sacrifice family time to work to get that. See, that's a whole
like,
nother ball.
Why your car note $1,000? But you're telling you grinding so hard, but you don't have to grind as hard because you can get.
You're putting yourself in that position.
Right. You can get something else. You know what I'm saying? And wait till your kids are 18 to go to school and then go copy your shit.
You said something that is something in our community that is so common, but after thinking about it, I think that growing up with nothing, growing up not necessarily poor, but like, you didn't have all the hot shit that all the other kids. And there was times where like other people could afford certain things, certain shoes or certain things that my folks was like, we're not getting that. But that can be a disadvantage sometimes to the children because there are a lot of women who are older than us who they're like, I worked and I'm slaves, so my children can get way more than I ever had. And then their kids, have you noticed that some kids, not yours necessarily, but a lot, there is an epidemic of these entitled kids.
You know what, you're right.
Where the parents are like, and then they wonder why they wake up and their kids are so entitled. It's like,
they still got to earn their shit though. That's one thing I will say.
And that's one thing that's a balance.
In the position to give them that and say, I don't ever want to be like, can't do it. Can't even do it. But I'm definitely, you still gotta earn it. Like,
and
when I finally got my son a phone,
that's key.
My man started out with a man flip. He went flip, and like I said, you gonna go through the struggle like I did. You gonna start with a flip phone, and you done earn your way up to this iPhone. So now that he has one, it's like you earned it.
You appreciate it versus
you
giving them and showering them, and then they have this entitled mentality.
Even like a new one, it's a 6. You're not getting the latest phone.
But look, and then you work so hard to not you, but shower them with stuff, and then you wonder why they they don't want to work for anything like you did to get them that,
right?
Because they've just
or they break it and don't care because they figure mom's just gonna
right.
Oh, see, no, I don't feed into that mentality. You still gonna earn it. I just want to always be in the position to be able to have, do things for you. You know what I'm saying? Versus not being.
I believe this is Warren Buffett, and if it wasn't, it was somebody who was rich. But here's a good quote. He says, they were talking about generational wealth. He said, I'm going to leave my kids enough money so they know that they can do anything, but not enough money so they don't have to do nothing.
Right.
And I felt like that was a good quote because I'm like, his kids probably don't have to work. Because you hear about these kids like, well, why didn't they give them enough money? Because they would be entitled. They would basically be sitting on their money and never have to work for anything ever again. So
my kids gonna have to work. I ain't that popping. They gonna have to work.